Hello again. Well, in my report of May 13th, I discussed Florida's continuing problem with unemployment, how the unemployment rate in Florida has for several months been running above the national level. Today, we'll go into this in a little more detail and look at some of the specific occupations and areas where unemployment has been a problem in Florida. The first thing we'll do is look at the financial markets. The stock market had kind of a bumpy week. Dow Jones Industrials actually closed down a little bit, as did the NASDAQ, not by a whole lot, but compared with previous weeks, this was more of a flat week. The S&P did manage to eke out a little bit of a gain. More important for long-term considerations here is to look at what's happening in the bond market. The TLT is an ETF, which tracks the 20-year Treasury. And that ETF is currently, or it closed at about $85.66. And that yield was 4.66%. Now, it does track the 20 yield, but not perfectly, because the U.S. Treasury 20-year yield is running right now at 5.14%. The 10-year yield is 4.59% yield. What is interesting is to look at the TLT 20-year over a period of time here. We can see that it has been going down over a 52-week period, year to date, and even over the past week. Now, when the TLT is going down in value, that means bonds are going down in value. And when bonds go down in value, interest rates are up. And we can see that the Treasury yield 20-year is now over 5%. And the 10-year yield, which is important for mortgages, is now over 4.5%. That means that mortgage rates are going to continue to be in the 6% range. In my previous report, I mentioned the problem that Florida is having with unemployment. It's been running slightly above the national level. Here are the figures again. The U.S. Population, 342 million. Labor force, 170 million, 162 million working. Unemployment rate nationally, 4.3%. Florida's population, 23,659,000. The labor force is 11 million and 10,600,000 working. Our unemployment rate, 4.4%, but it varies considerably around the state, and we'll look at a map in a few moments. The Miami-Dade area, which is the lower southeast coast, has one of the lowest unemployment rates in the state at 2.9%. It's also the largest county in terms of population, 2,791,000. And the employment rate there is total employed 1,407,000. Moving right on up the coast to Broward, where Fort Lauderdale is, another big county, 2 million, a little over 2 million population, labor force a little over 1 million, and somewhat of a higher unemployment rate there, getting closer to a national rate of 4.3, Broward 4.2%. Then on up the coast again, Palm Beach County, 1.5 million population, 739,000 employed, 4.4%, so it matches the state level there. Going over to the Atlantic, to the Gulf Coast, Hillsborough County, 1.5 million, almost the same population as Palm Beach County, and unemployment rate there 4.5%. Orange County, which is Orlando and Disney and so forth, again about 1.5 million population, and the national average there, 4.3%, prevails there in Orange County. On up the coast there at Jacksonville, Duval County, a little over 1 million population, and jump here and the unemployment rate to 4.7%. Pinellas County, which is St. Petersburg on the Gulf, unemployment rate 4.10%, under 1,936,000, just the population there 936,000. But some other parts of the state are really quite high, and we'll take a look at these in a moment on a map. Taylor County, which is small population, 20,000. Labor force, 5,400, and the actual number working 5,000. Unemployment rate highest in the state at 8.4%. Sumter County, which is a larger county and more in the central part of the state, 161,000. It's not on the coast. Um, the unemployment rate there is 7.8%. Hamilton County, 6.7%. Citrus County, which is very close to, in fact, Citrus County is next to Sumter, 6.5%. Citrus County, which is on the coast, 173,000 population, and the number of people working there, 51,000. The unemployment rate there is 6.5%. And then right in the middle part of the state, next to near Lake Okeechobee, is Highlands County, smack dab in the middle of the peninsula. Highlands County with 6.10%. Now, part of the problem there with these smaller counties is that some of the big employment opportunities have not been able to get developed there because of maybe size limitations. Or it is interesting to point out, for example, in Sumter County, which has experienced a sharp population increase, a very popular retirement area there called the Villages is located in Sumter County, and that has accounted for the bulk of their population increase. There are 67 counties in Florida, and 29 of them have unemployment rates of 5% or higher. Just as there is variation in the unemployment figures around the state, there's also variation in different categories of employment in non-agricultural employment. We can see that in Florida, total non-agricultural employment, and the most recent figures are for March of 2026, just under 10 million, 9,993,000. And this was a loss of people employed over a 12-month period, year to year, of 22,400, or on a percentage basis, negative 0.2%, less than 1%, 0.2%. The losses varied from category to category of employment. Construction saw a decline of 8,600 jobs, or 1.3%. Retail trade, kind of surprising, a lot of loss there, 13,500. This is a result of some stores closing and relocating, the application of automation to take care of some of the jobs. For example, it's not uncommon now to see self-service checkout at grocery stores and other retail outlets. This, of course, helps to reduce the number of employees required. So negative 13,500. Finance and insurance, down 8,400. Kind of surprising when you consider the problems that Florida has had with insurance, but this also includes the banking sector as well. Interestingly enough, even real estate, which is both sales and leasing operations here, a decline here of 3,100, or 1.4%. By far and away, one of the biggest employment gains in the state was in the various areas of education and health services and healthcare. 1.6 million people are employed there, up 31,500 in a 12-month period of time, a gain of 2%, one of the biggest growths. Another one is in the area of recreation and entertainment and the arts and so forth. The amounts here are small, 283,000, but the increase was significant, up 10,700, or up 3.9%. So obviously there is no one cure for the unemployment problem. There are different occupations that need addressing, as well as different parts of the state. So there's no one cure. It'll have to be attacked on both an occupational basis or employment basis, as well as geographical. Let's look at the counties where unemployment is way above the average for the state. And we'll start with Taylor County up here in the Big Bend area, which has the highest unemployment in the state at 8.4%. It's interesting to note it's one of the few areas in Florida over the past few years that's actually lost population. Since 2020, its population is down nearly 5%. population there currently is a little over 20,000, according to the latest estimates, and it had an unemployment rate recently of 8.49%. The other areas that deserve some attention here would be Sumter County, which is kind of surprising. Sumter County is right here. It's not a coastal county, but it is the location of a very popular retirement area called the Villages. And not surprising, Sumter County has seen a population growth since 2020 of over 23%. So it's a little difficult to understand why they should be having such a high unemployment rate there of 7.8. The population has increased up to 161,000 here in Sumter County. And another severe county in terms of unemployment is right next door here, Citrus County, which is a coastal county. So clearly would have some potential there for attracting retirees or people for second homes or people who enjoy fishing. The Citrus County unemployment rate there is 6.5%, but they have also experienced an increase in population of over 12%. I should point out that Florida as a whole, since 2020, has increased by a little over 8.5%, one of the fastest growing states in the nation in terms of population growth. Other areas here that deserve some attention: Hamilton County, which is a tiny county way up here in the northern part of the state. Let me see if I can zero in on that a little bit. There we go. Hamilton County, way up here, right on the Florida-Georgia line. Small county in terms of square miles, and also in terms of population, only 14,000. Has a very slight growth rate over the last few years of just a little over 2.8%. And finally, Highlands County, which is kind of a surprise to me. It's right here in the central part of the state, and this whole central area here is very attractive area if you're looking for a place in Florida for long-term investment. Some of these interior places, there's rolling hills, lakes, citrus groves, nice climate, removed from the shore. So if a hurricane does come, by the time it reaches inland there, it's been weakened by going over the landmass. So I'm surprised that Highlands County is in this area, but according to the most recent data, it has an unemployment rate of over 6%, 6.10%. It has experienced some population growth, over 10% since 2020. Population there now is 112,000, a little over 112,000 here in Highlands County. But to solve the problem of high unemployment among a few of the Florida counties, there will be no one cure. It may just be a matter of time until some of the county's potentials are discovered. For example, Taylor County and Citrus County are both coastal counties. They are on the Gulf there with beautiful waterfronts. So clearly there's an opportunity there for some development and attractiveness. Other counties like Highlands County here that has a really high unemployment rate. It's right there near Lake Okeechobee in the central part of the south central part of the state. A nice area, rolling hills, lakes, nice weather. Again, a lot of the ingredients that have made other parts of Florida very attractive to newcomers. So obviously these areas will need to be studied on their own individual qualities and merits and problems. There to discourage development. Clearly, there is potential, and I'm optimistic. I think all of these areas will recover. It may be that some counties, for example, like Hamilton County, it is such a small county in terms of land mass and so forth, and it's above I-10, which starts over here at Jacksonville and goes across the state to Pensacola and ultimately out to California, across Texas. It may be that a merger with an adjacent county so that there can be some type of economies of scale developed. That would be very difficult to do given Florida politics. but it's just one idea. You probably can preserve the county lines, but maybe promote some inter-county development there. And I know they do this already in some of the educational and social service areas. That concludes my report for today. Thank you for tuning in again and subscribing.